So for this task, you're going to dive into the world of animals. And you're welcome for not using a PETA picture. So let me tell you what this one's about. So for this assignment right here, you're going to dive into some pretty harsh stuff. And you need to reflect on the ethics of eating animals, what that is. So I'm going to go into detail and show you. Don't worry, I won't have pictures. So for this task, you guys are in the module of deontology. Deontology is our duty to each other and forming categorical imperatives around that duty and obligation. A categorical imperative, or CI, as I like to call them, because you know a CI is something that is hard, pressed, core, absolutely cannot change. Immanuel Kant spent decades forming his moral theory, and he said there are some things in life, no matter who you are, when you are, where you are, what you cannot change these moral outcomes. So we're going to play around in that headspace and we're going to apply it in this option to animals. And what constitute our justification for killing another living, breathing soul for our survival? So that's kind of where this is going to take off. So this is a reflective essay. You guys are going to write 2 to 3 paragraphs that talk about the choice that you make. And one, you need to be able to demonstrate you understand um, how deontology is pushing in this and what your personal thoughts are second. So remember that as you do these ethical theories, you got an opinion. Great. We all have one. But I also need to make sure you understand the ethical theory presented to you also. So that is what you're doing for this assignment. Pick one, write about it, and use the materials to help you through it. I'm going to explain this in a little more detail if you want to stick around. So as you can see, sorry, it's so cold. As you can see, you have a few options here, and each option has its own reading material. So if you pick A, you're going to use this one, which is the lecture. If you use this one, you're going to use this one, which is the lecture, and you're going to move yourself all the way to the case study that talks about this. This one, not human enough, read the lecture, and you're going to be looking for this inside this lecture. Um, the bottom two, you see we have a Peter Singer, and then you also have a Hearst House. And then there's a couple of other ones in there that kind of help you along if you need it. Like, for example, ritual killings, you could use the lecture, and here is an article that goes with it. Okay, so you're going to pick one. So, for example, if you're picking this one, animals are food. This one talks about our civic rights. As a civic right, in this moment, in this country, in this spot, in this space, you cannot kill me for food. Absolutely not. But you know what I can kill? A cow. I can have a cow burger. I could have some pig. I could have a deer. I could have a frog, a crab, a lobster, a goat, a donkey. I could have any of those. But you know what I can't necessarily have? A dog. There's no dog market in my reality right now, my space, I can't go down the street and get one. And I'm sorry to my dog Maggie for saying that out loud. So this one is going to really discuss where do we draw the line of what is consumable food is not? And it's the first knee-jerk reaction is going to say Maggie's very upset. My speaker, my mic sometimes like hushes out dog barkings. I don't know if you could hear her, but she was barking. She was not happy. So when we talk about the justification for killing an animal, deontology would argue that can I make that a categorical imperative? Can I say that it is justifiable, no matter the culture, that it is okay to use dogs as human food consumption? And if you say no, every culture is different, Kant is going to argue with you, what does culture and education and religion have to do with rights? What has that got to do with anything? Because if it's a right here, it should be a right there. So that's one of the sticklers about deontology is he is going to be very strict. Relativism is not in his vocabulary. If do not lie, do not steal, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, do not kill, or a right somewhere else, they must have reasoned their way to it. You have to acknowledge that. You have to see what it is. You have to see why it is. And then you have to either validate or invalidate what they're doing. And that's kind of the trick that Kant took. He took all of these moral relative ideas, put them in his little like saucepan, and he looked through each one. Why is it a right here and not there? And if it's not a right there, how come you guys aren't doing that? What moral justification or civic justification could you possibly have if it's deemed reasonable over here? So that's kind of what we're doing. Like I said, pick one, sift it through two, sift it through deontology, sift it through Kant, see what he's saying, and then sift it through your own ideas. See what you're saying. So remember, these should always be in two parts. What is the ethical theories telling you, and what are you feeling? What's going on through your mind? All right, let me know if you need help.